What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the drone show. Got some good stuff tonight. I know I say it all the time, but this one is the one that I've been waiting on, the ZDP189 Bunka Black from Yoshida Hamono. It's a sexy beast, and I'll give you a close-up shot, but I mean, from there you just think, oh look, it's a bunka, right? Man, this thing is beautiful. I'll show you in a second here. I'm gonna give her a quick little edge. I'm going to go against the grain. Well, normally you would think ZDP 189, let's do diamonds. Okay, I'm not going to not, but today we're going to use the ALTSTONE Fukami 300 and the King Hyper 1000 just to prove a point, right? See how good these stones are, or do they suck? I don't know. We'll find out, right? I can tell you the ALTSTONE doesn't suck, and I don't believe the King sucks, but you never know how it's going to perform against a steel hard like this. So this is going to be kind of something I want to do down the road with other harder steels and things like that, is test these other stones that would be considered lower end. They're not lower end, they just cost less, right, than people are used to, so they automatically think that they're just junk. But anyway, so we're going to give them a shot. Before we do that, a couple things. I don't know if you guys have seen these. This is the, and like I said, it's going to look better in the GoPro, and I'll show them to you over there. This is the Zarlik stones. I'll just do it now. So the Zarlik Gen 3, you know, this is the ones that they've been selling now on the side extra, like the honeycomb pattern, kind of like, you know, those little flat diamond plates that you buy on Amazon. So, gosh, that's a terrible focus today. It comes in a set of 4. You get a 240, a 400, a 600, and a 1000. These are awesome. The only real grit contamination I saw in my set was the 1000, and it wasn't bad. I don't think it's enough grit contamination to really worry. Who knows? Rooksons sent me these. Of course, we know, and I'm still going to do a video on them, but one of the things that he said he saw whenever I showed what they gave me was he meant to send also the 100. So it's the 100 grit, and this thing has so many diamonds in it that it'll blind you in direct light. So I cannot wait to get that up and going. I'm going to use full-size knives as well as the fixed angle systems to demonstrate them against the DMD sets. And I also have these from a Reddit friend. Jethro Smash is the name he goes by. These are Rihu poured stones is what they call them. They are diamond. This is a 1000 grit in green. This one is supposedly 10,000. Now I can tell you under the microscope, this one did have a finer diamond grit in the binder than this one. Not by a lot though, as far as the microscope was seeing. Now I can't see through the entire set of layers, but I cleaned these up, and I used that green one today to take care of an absolute problem that I can't believe I had to deal with. We're all familiar with this company. At least I think most of us are like pocket knives are, right? We all know who that is. Okay, that's my Ultratech Bounty Hunter box right there. So I have this guy here, a Stitch Auto, right? I actually have 2 of them. So I wanted to get the Ramlock version, right? This is the Ramlock version of the Stitch. So currently it's working great. I've got a Band-Aid because of this thing. So I want to show you real quick. You think when you spend this much money on a freaking knife, and I'm a Microtech guy, I like Microtechs, but the last 3 Microtechs that I bought that wasn't the Bounty Hunter have all had lockup problems. And I wanted to do this before I got this video started because I'm on a rant. This thing, as you can see, it's a manual folder that has what's equivalent to the access lock, kind of like the Benchmade bug outs, you know, access lock, right? So you pull down, and the knife, it collapses. So you see, this is how it looked when I got it, right? All not a problem. But whenever the knife was completely open, you see how that snaps in place now? This is where the lock sat. Let me see, I'll just make it look. That is how the lock sat. Now, although right now I'm making it sit that way because I don't have the knife fully extended, pretend that it is. So that is how it sat. It might have been a little higher than that. I'm like, man, that knife can't be locked out. But I'm like, well, why would Microtech be wrong, right? Why would they do that? Why would something not be right? So I was kind of playing with I always test all my knives, test to see how stable their lockups are, if they're new to me especially. And I went to go push on it, and just with my hands, it came down and sliced my hand. I'm like, yeah, that's a problem. So I ended up opening this thing up because they were like, oh, send it in. I'm like, man, I just got it yesterday. So this little spot right here, okay, I had to grind that down. I ground it down on this Rihu 1000 stone. I had to grind that nipple down as well as the face of this ram lock. And as you can see, it now is solid and it works. But I had to repair this knife that's brand new that cost several $100s. Let me know in the comments if you think that's bullshit, because I do. I get it. They honor their warranty. I'm not worried about that. Microtech's a stand-up company, but I have had multiple problems with Microtech products. Products that cost way more money than just something from, you know, Amazon, right? So you got this. You'll see it actually did it. Watch. You shouldn't be able to do that. The problem has to do with their lockup. Now, if you pull it out to a certain point, it's fine, but you should not have to do that on a $700, $800, $900 knife. My Halo 5 does the exact same thing. What's funny is we all know that the clone world exists, right? I bought a Halo 5 clone. I've got a real Halo 5, and I've got a Halo 5 clone. The clone does the exact same thing because they copied their design exactly. So, rant over, but tell me what you guys think about something like that. All right, let's move on from the pocket knives, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you this beaut. Here she is, the Yoshida Hamono ZDP189 Bunka Black, or Black Bunka, whichever. It's a nice hammered finish. It's got a nice handle. I need to look up the handle. It's a Packer wood ferrule, I believe, and this might be Packer wood as well. I'll double check. I'm not certain. It could be walnut. They do have that giant stamp there. It says ZDP189. But look at that nice finish, man. This is an amazing knife. Now, I did buy this secondhand, so I did not pay retail for this. Retail was a lot more than I paid for it. It is in excellent shape, but the guy that had this before me used a Tormek, which I'm not a personal fan of, but that's neither here nor there. He used a 10 degree per side edge. 10 degrees per side. Think about that. Anyway, that was fine. I don't want a 10 degree per edge side, or per side edge. Sorry, I'm getting my tongue tied here. So I'm putting on mine, which is roughly a 14 to 16 degree edge. There's nothing wrong with having an ultra low angle like that. It's just not what I want. And I noticed in the microscope that the edge was kind of chippy, okay? So when I say that, it had a lot of jagged edges. Now, it could have just been the way he did the Tormek, but it doesn't matter because I would have, even if it was pristine, I would have changed that. So I'm going to use this here ALTSTONE Fukami 300 grit, and we're going to lay on this here angle that I like to use. So I got that trip coming up, so you guys are going to get an outside, probably as long as the weather's nice, video this weekend. And I'm thinking about taking this with me to do some cutting and stuff and doing some videos of that. What do you guys think about that? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. How's everybody's week been, huh? It's only Wednesday. Well, I'm going to tell you, look at that. Now, you guys have seen this stone in action before. This is ZDP189. You're running about a 67 to a 68 hardness. It could be 66, but I believe that these are all shot for at least 67. Now, also, Hitachi Metals, who is the producer of ZDP189, has said they do not want facilities that are not Hitachi ZDP189 heat treat trained to heat treat this metal. So much so that they will not sell it if they don't have plans to heat treat it with a company that is trained by them to do it. So this should be heat treated perfectly. This is also a reason why you don't see a lot of ZDP189 anymore. There was kind of an influx. That's one of the reasons I believe Spyderco quit doing it. And I believe I said that in a video already, so please forgive me for repeating myself if I did. So we got a burr. Listen at it though. The thing I love about these ALTSTONEs is even the low grit, which is an amazing cutter, it's still relatively quiet by comparison. Now that will depend on your steel, because if you have some steel that drags more, like maybe it's softer, you're going to have a little bit more noise, but that's pretty quiet. I mean, we've got evidence there that we are indeed pulling off some of this steel. And I am going to check. Yeah, I've got a great burr. I do believe that I can move on. I'm going to get that tip a little bit more there. It's been a busy day today. I got Dad some home health services, which are going to help me tremendously. So that's good news. It's just been a really busy week. And this steel is something else, guys. I love it already. Such a beautiful knife. And Yoshida Hamono is the same company. That video I did where I sharpened the Sujihiki, that nice long slicing knife, same company. I'm actually curious about the kanji. Oh, it doesn't. So the kanji on that one, I just went over and looked at it. I was going to bring it over, but the kanji is a little different. I don't know. It's got a sticker on the handle. Maybe I'll look at that. It is the same company. I did confirm. It's just that's a lower end line. The Sujihiki that I have. It was like 89 bucks or $93 or whatever it was, or 78 bucks, something like that. And this is, of course, a high-end line item. So what seems to be a recurring theme for me, and this could be the way that this guy did this, okay? So I can't say this about Yoshida Hamono. And I've not had any other Yoshida Hamonos, aka one other, that have had this issue. But as of late, I've had a lot of issues where there is a dull edge in the back. Some of the times they're blunted. Sometimes it's just extremely dull. Almost like it was neglected. This has kind of the same thing. You got an edge bevel that goes all the way back and then stops. So what I'm going to do is I have given it some attention and gotten it started, and I will just kind of allow this to grow as I sharpen this knife. I'm not going to force it. I'm going to give it a little bit more attention right now, but I'm going to let it expand as I sharpen this knife down the road, which, given this steel, will probably be like a couple times a year. That obviously will just depend on how much I use it. I think for a standard home user, once you have this thing sharpened up properly, you're looking at definitely months of use. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next side. I'm gonna break on through. What's everybody's weekend plans? Anybody get any new pickups, new stones, new anything? I'd be curious to know in the comments. Such a beautiful knife. I am going to put a new handle on this one, simply because this one has a dent in it, which is one of the reasons why It was a little cheaper. I'm gonna need to cut my nail. But just because I've got a lot of these plain ones already, and I'm gonna make one for it, so. Oof. Man. Such a great steel. And I cannot wait to use this thing. Whenever I get it to the condo, I'll do some slice tests and video them for you guys and put it in the next video. ALTSTONE through Kami, guys. Like, if this is not a testament to how amazing these stones are, I do not know what is. I mean, we are cutting right into ZDP189. Listen at that thing just go. Oh boy, that could have been fatal. Fatality. Try not to get too much stuff in the water because of that king down there. We have folded the burr over. Keep checking the microphone, make sure I'm recording still. That's happened to me before, and I'd hate to get through all this because today is crunch time. We're finishing packing to leave, and I'm down here filming a video. It's gonna be in the doghouse for you guys, For my peeps. Let's see. I'm making sure that everything's even here. So I'm gonna turn the sun on for a second. It is such a fine bevel that I put on here that I just want to make sure it's completely even. Okay, we're looking really good. Let's get rid of some of the stuff. I think I had that thing soaking for, I don't know, probably 10 minutes before I turned the video on. I just came in here and plopped it in and got to work. Such a good stone. I'm telling you, this is not a testament, like I said, to these ALTSTONEs that it's out here. Maybe I should also say, Todd was telling me, and I did not know this, but ZDP189 is not a high vanadium steel, and I was not aware. Like I said, I hadn't done a whole lot of research on it. I just knew I wanted some because it was a nice hard steel. So to be fair, those high wearing vanadium steels are the ones that are really going to be a trouble to cut. But still, this is 67, 68 HRC, so it's no slouch. And this ALTSTONE is just, I mean, it's eating it. So I don't even really know, like, I'm not going to try and compare it to the FSK because that's not fair, right? Because that's a diamond vitrified stone. But, I mean, this is pretty fast. Let's just be honest here. Okay. I do believe we're good. Double checking here. Yep. Everything's good except for the tip. And the tip's not bad. I just need a little more attention. So we'll give it just a little more attention. It's got a slight belly, so you gotta kind of give it a little bit of that rock motion, but oh no, we're good now. Yeah, we Gucci, baby. Let's go ahead and give it some deburring strokes here. Just double checking everything because I like to. I don't like it to be jacked up. Something I'm curious about, and maybe one of you guys will know because I don't. And you know I love education. So sometimes you see these knives, these Japanese knives that come by design with like a 70-30 grind. Now I know that if your grind is, you know, steeper on one side and the other, then the food will fall a certain way. Is that the only reason behind that? I'm assuming, but I don't know. Because I've never, I shouldn't say that I never have, because I have done a 70-30 for someone before. It was weird. I really had to concentrate on doing it, but they requested it. And I don't even really honestly know that they knew what they were requesting or why. But yeah, if any of you guys know exactly what it's for, or if that's exactly right, then that's great. Kind of a food prep thing, so curious. Okay, I'm not going to do too much because we got the 1000 coming up. So, but honestly, it's pretty well deburred. I wouldn't say it's completely deburred at this point, but definitely quite a bit because there was a pretty significant burr there. Just rinsing this stone off real fast. Do-do-do. And my little holder because I'm OCD. Okay, let that drain. Now let's go ahead and grab our King Hyper 1000. As you can see there, I said high slight. It's because I thought that that corner was slightly higher, and then I got an actual straight edge out and double checked. And well, it kind of is, but the whole stone is. It came out of the factory like that. That's fine. I thought about getting the King Neo out, which really I probably should have, but oh well. All right. Let's listen to this Hyper real quick. That nice chalky stuff. I love it. Such good stuff. I love this stone. Get it a good soak. Such a beauty. Such a beauty. Doing a good job removing some steel. Putting a nice little baby burr back there. And I expect that, being that this is a nice hard knife, and you know, I don't know necessarily that this stone was designed. I know that the Hypers were designed for more modern steels versus their regular deluxe muddy counterparts, but I don't know what it had in mind. I did not research that far. Just making sure the back end gets a little treat. I like checking out the back end, you know what I mean? A little badonk-a-donk. Okay. My wife always rolls her eyes at me when I say that stuff. I'm like, let me check out the back. Goodness. All right, looking at our bevel here. Just making sure we're keeping it up. I'm probably not going to go too hard on this 1000. I don't know exactly if I'm going to stick with the King Hyper. Because as I was sitting here thinking about it, I think I do want to go with the Neo. But I'm not going to get it out right now and swap this up. I'm just going to leave it as is. But I will finish it out with what I started with. Just double checking this here bevel. I'm gonna take off this stuff. Not that I think I need to. I don't believe it's going to affect performance or anything. But I want a fresh, clean surface for the other side. Do. So is there anybody watching that has ever wanted a ZDP189 knife? Has that ever interested you at all? I ask because it did not interest me at first. I was like, what do I need that for? I got everything I need. That's interesting. Whenever I change the handle on this, I'm going to have to do some work on some low-end rust back there. Apparently, that wasn't oiled or cared for very well back there. The rest of it seemed to be, but could also just be regular oxidation. I don't know. I'll have to look. But yeah, I did not at first buy into the whole ZDP 189 thing. It wasn't until I like really got into diamonds and then making diamond stones that I really wanted the ZDP 189. So, curious what you guys think. So the way this thing feels on this stone, because I usually give you guys a little bit of a update. So normally like a 300 grit feels like a rock road, and that 300 grit usually kind of does. But tonight, it did not really feel like that. Don't know why. I don't know if it had to do with the soak or the steel. Could be the steel. I don't know. But it just felt kind of, I mean, it felt rough. I mean, that's for sure. Yeah, it just didn't feel like I was running over gravel. And this one, nice and chalky. The feedback on the 300 was great, like I would expect, right? So, I mean, I knew what was going on at all times. Same with this. It's kind of firm, though. Not sticky, but firm with a slight drag. So when I say slight drag, like if I give it one of these, there's some resistance there. And I'm not putting on a lot of pressure. Same with that, right? So it feels like maybe the abrasive is grabbing this thing. I don't know. But it feels good. Feels kind of grabby, but for me, that makes it feel like it's actually doing something. So let's check. I think we're pretty good. This feels weird back here, so I'm just going to hit it real quick. It's really grabby right there, so maybe that's telling me something, right? Maybe it's saying, hey, this is different. I don't know, I could be making that up, but it does feel like it grabs more in that small area. And there was hardly a burr there. And let's be honest with this one, normally a 1000 is going to give you a decent burr, but with this knife, I think, and this stone, I believe that it's just going to kind of be a smaller burr, which it is. It also has to do with the bevel I'm putting on it, which is kind of small, but it still felt more pronounced with the 300. But no, we feel good, so I'm going to go ahead real quick there. I'm going to check it, and we might be ready for deburring, which seems to be really easy on ZDP 189, guys. As far as that goes, like, it has been like easy so far. Look at this with the Carson microscope here real quick, because this looks funky. Could just be my eyes, that's possible. Well, it looks good. It looks even. It does have some wider spots. I say that like they're not like they're only noticeable here in this microscope. Other than that, it seems very uniform, so that's good. Take off my little old band-aid from my freaking Microtech. Man, and I love that company. That's the thing that kind of miffs me so bad about that. I'm going to hit this one more time with some long strokes, right? So, just a few, not many. I do believe, though, I'm going to stick with diamonds for this. It just makes the most sense. It's going to get me doing what I need to do faster with it. So you will see this on again fairly quickly with some diamonds. But I'll just do it with like some resin bonded diamonds or something. And I don't have to do it with like the FSKs or HKs or anything like that. Besides, I'm not going to have those for very much longer. I do not own them. I wish, man. I'd love to have an FSK 1000 or anything, honestly. FSK anything. Or HK 1000 or whatever, because that HK 1000's a dream. Man, I'd love to have it. I watched this Yoshihiro Cutlery. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but the way that he sharpens, he does this thing where he'll, like in this mode here, the deburring, just goes like this. And then like and gets lasers, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Yoshihiro Cutlery. Okay, I am going to double check with the microscope again. We're going to look and see if we have burrs. That's the only thing I'm going to check for, because everything seems pretty doggone even. So I do have some. There is a lot of clean spots, but I've got and they're like the tiniest things. But that gives me a chance to show you guys something. You know, I've got a strop fetish, so I'll put you back over here in the GoPro. This is and it's really kind of cool. I wish I'd have seen this before. Oop, I need to not do that too. That's dumb. All right, it's a Chef Knives to Go. This is a metal base, right? And this is a kangaroo strop, kangaroo leather. And it has a magnetic back. You just slap that bad biatch right there. Put her on down, and you got yourself a kangaroo leather strop. You can get your other leathers and same magnetic backing, make your own, whatever. And then bada bing, baby. This has 0.25 micron diamond paste on it. I'm probably going to cut my finger off. I'm going to do it this way. I knew he had these, but I just never pulled the trigger. And then the other day they had a scratch and dent sale. So they had one of these bases that was just a little bit cheaper. It wasn't a whole lot cheaper, just a little bit. So I grabbed this in the kangaroo leather, which is what I've been wanting. And now I got it. All right, now I'm going to check it. Super quick. Wipe this off. Oh man, yeah. That's amazing. That is completely clean. Holy crap. And it looks good. Let's see if it cuts good. I'm sure it will. Right? It's probably gonna like rip and tear like Doom. Let's listen. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oops. Oops. Yeah. baby. Oh, baby. No, baby. Oh, well, of course I didn't check all the way out to the tip, I guess. So there's a couple of snaggy burrs right there. That's fine. We know how to get rid of them. This back is going to need some work. There's no way to put that other than it's just needing work. But everything else, oops. Come on now. Yeah, get off there. She is a slicer. Oh my gosh. The only thing I don't like, and I'll show you real quick, is I put that bevel that I made onto this wider, as you can see from, let's see if I can point to it in the actual video here. It's kind of hard to do sometimes. So this kind of shows a reflection. So from here down was the 10-degree bevel, right? It formed down to 10 degrees. So on the edge of that is where I put my bevel. It works, it'll be fine, because what this was is just how the Tormac ran, I guess, and the way it laid on that rotating stone. So that kind of took that and formed it down, right? So this is not like this is 10 degrees. That point was. So instead of that, I just took off the 10 degree, because I did kind of run that down a little bit first, and then put my edge on there. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to see. This thing's thin, stupid thin. So, a couple more quick stroppy strops, and then one more real quick cut test, because I did not like the way that did there. I think I just cut my thumb. Huh. Oh gosh, man. Yeah, the ZDP189. I think the thing for me that probably matters the most is I want to know how long its edge retention is, right? So I want to use this knife exclusively for a while. Yeah, oh my God. Like, jeez. Yeah, I'll do some food. I'll do some tomatoes this weekend for it. I'll show you guys. Yeah, the longevity of the edge, that is, I think, what matters to me the most. I am going to properly sharpen it with some diamonds. I mean, it's properly sharpened now, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to finish it off with some diamonds, probably like a 1000 grit king diamond. And then probably hit it with maybe, I got a 3000 grit, and then I've got the 6000 grit Nanitwa. So I may hit it with that and polish it up. So anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tried to give you as much detail as I currently have about that knife. I still haven't gone through the little booklet there, but I am very excited to learn about it and give you guys more info. And I'm looking forward to testing this thing out, because I'm going to test it side by side with HAP 40. What I'm going to try and do is whenever I cook, I'm going to take my HAP 40 and that one, and if I have 2 tomatoes, let's say, I'm going to chop one with the HAP 40, one with the ZDP. They're both going to have the exact same edge, and I'm going to see who outlasts who. And just go from there. Just in a kitchen type use environment, right? Because we're not out there cutting sisal rope like some of the guys do, and that's a great test. But this is going to be how these things are used normally. So anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. It's kind of a weird Wednesday. This was kind of a weird one for me, doing all this extra stuff and extra talking and going through all that. But I just try to be as informative as possible and show you some of the stuff, and also my frustrations with Microtech. But I will see you guys this weekend with a more beautiful view. And again, you guys are amazing for your support. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So remember that I got a giveaway going, drawings next Wednesday. It's going to be for a knife and an ALTSTONE Fukami. And I will also at some point be giving away a Japanese natural stone. So make sure you guys stay tuned in. The only thing you got to do to win is be a subscriber of this channel and leave a comment on any video from last week up until this coming Sunday. I'll do the drawing on Wednesday. Till then, I appreciate you guys so much, and peace.